Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Spider-Man Retro ToyBiz inspired card. This is Marvel's Sandman. So I ordered mine for Big Bang Toys Las Vegas. They had posted on Instagram that they had it in stock, so I went to their website, ordered it. They shipped it out same day priority. So I'm very happy with it. I ordered two. One is already hanging on my wall, so this one here I will open up. I will show a comparison with the previous Build-A-Figure from a few years ago. I have the Raft Sandman, but it's still in box, so I'm not going to open the Raft set just to pull out that pure sand version of Sandman, where it's basically this figure with regular arms just in a tan color. So I won't be doing a comparison with that figure or anything like that, but the Build-A-Figure I think is a good one since it's, you know, has the same colors and all of that going on here. But here we can see a couple of different interchangeable hands. We get some arm accessory pieces, and we get an interchangeable head. One that when this figure was first announced, people were not impressed with that head sculpt. I look at it this way. He's getting punched in the head and it's going right through him, so he is not impressed. Hence the regular relaxed look as opposed to the menacing look of the other one. But that just, you know, depends on personal preference. So I don't mind it, but, you know, I get it for, you know, how other folks feel. And then I think the other thing was the skin tone looked very pale in those first images. It doesn't look so bad having it in hand, and hopefully you guys will see that here in the video. But looking at it, we get the ToyBiz inspired card from Spider-Man the Animated Series. We got an image of Sandman there. Looking at the back of the package, which shows what the gimmick of the figure is here. It's the interchangeable parts and whatnot. His bio reads, "A massive dose of radiation bonds petty criminal William Baker's body to sand, creating a massive threat to Spider-Man." When I first read William Baker, I'm thinking, like, wait a second, Flint Marko, but Flint Marko obviously is not his actual name. William Baker is his real name, and then Flint Marko is just what he goes by, an alias. So here is Sandman, and I am going to rip this thing out of the package. I have two, so I'm okay in just ripping it. I know there's like a safe way to like open this thing up, but I don't care since I have two. I know some people will want to keep it and all of that. I don't mind. But there it is. Now let me kind of get the pieces out and spread out. Okay, and here is the Sandman figure out of the package, and he's a pretty good one. I need to double check to see if this is a new torso or not. I'm a little confused by it, but I want to say that it's basically like the Writer's Punisher figure that was released, or similar to like the Hydro Man figure or the MCU Luke Cage figures. I believe it is all the same body, but he does have pinless elbows, so that's why I'm leaning towards the Punisher figure. But the forearms might be new because it's got the cuff of the shirt that's rolled up, his sleeve that's kind of rolled up. So I need to double check that, and the neck looks like a separate piece, so again I need to double check, and I'll take a look at here. I thought it was basically going to be, you know, the Hydro Man figure, so I didn't really need to pull out any other figures to kind of look and compare, but I will do that here shortly. But he looks fantastic. I love the arm attachment pieces for the sand effect. That is actually a really nice touch. You know, that's one thing that happens with this figure. The arms are so damn heavy because it's stuck like that. You know, problems happen with the torso and things like that, but this really helps do it. I mean, you just have the extra interchangeable pieces of the hands. There's no hinges on those or anything, but they look really good. I love the color of the sand, actually, more so than this one here where it was really dark. But I just love the attachment pieces that go over the arm. I think that looks really cool. Better than kind of blending in the paint and the sculpt of it and the mold of it, because it gives you the options on how you want to display without having to like do full-on interchangeable arms. So I really like the way that came out. So out of the package, he does have regular fists. These are the only regular hands that he's going to have, and then of course you have the weapon hand, so the mace hand and then the gigantic fists and those arm pieces. Again, no hinge on those hands, and then we have the interchangeable head. So let's zoom in close to take a look at the figure as well as the two different head sculpts. Okay, and here's an up-close look at the Sandman. So the torso is the same as Hydro Man Punisher. The neck is different from Punisher, but I believe it's the same from Hydro Man. And I believe these arms are actually going to be all new because the Punisher ones are a little bit more muscular. You can see the muscle definition a lot more than, you know, wearing a long-sleeve shirt. So the arms are going to be the same. The shoulders are probably... actually, the shoulders would be different from Punisher as well because he had the rolled-up... sleeves at the shoulder. So the arms, I believe, are going to be new, and then the rest of it is basically the Luke Cage body and whatnot. Luke Cage, the the Punisher and everything like that, and Hydro Man. Right here in the front, though, we get the serial numbers and stuff that's printed on the leg, like right in the front. Why did Hasbro do that? But anyway, looking at it, I think this looks pretty good. It looks a little animated-like and kind of goofy a little bit. He doesn't look all that menacing, to be honest, but I do like the way it looks. I like the way the hair came out and everything. He's got the waves in there, but it looks really good. I really like it. Looking at the other head sculpt, though, I like this one, but I do get that, you know, he's kind of like just chilling. You know, he get big ass hole in the face, so whether he's got punched through or if he was shot through the head or whatever the case may be, he's just like, you know, no big deal. If you notice there's a little bit of white paint right there where his eye was, so you could still see part of his eye. That's a little tiny detail that was very nicely done, and both of my figures have it, so it wasn't just like a paint defect or anything on mine. So I think that is actually pretty cool. I really like the way the sand looks. I like the sculpt of it. There's a little bit of a light brown wash on the yellow to really bring out the details and make it look like sand, just like here on the arms and these hand attachments. So that is actually pretty cool. You can see there how it transitions from the hair into the sand. I like it. I don't know. It just looks kind of cool to me. But I get it. He's just like, whatever. But I kind of feel like that's kind of the point, that he's just like, no big deal. You know, I got punched in the head. I can handle it. You know, it doesn't faze me. I don't know if a fist actually fits through there, though. Not really. I mean, you can kind of fudge it, but his hand isn't really going to go through there. But I wonder if you pop the hand off and put the arm through there and then put the hand back on the arm. You could do something like that. So, you know, if you have Sandman, you know, Spider-Man could have his hand stuck in there. Ooh, that's kind of, you know what? That gives me an idea. So now you can have him like punching Spider-Man, doing something like this, maybe. I don't know. Somebody that's really good at posing and doing stuff, but you can probably do something like that, you know, with Spider-Man and his hand being stuck in there. So I actually really like, you know, the option of doing something like that. But enough of that. Let's continue on with Sandman. So he's got his signature green striped shirt. That looks all pretty good there. Then into the brown tannish color pants. And then he's got these black boots in there with deep ass treads on there. Looking at the arm attachments, again, they're really cool. But the hand pieces don't have a hinge. So you just have this little thin peg there. Careful when porting it onto the arm. Be very careful. But here we have these arm pieces, and they are designed to sit on specific arms. So if you look at the inside of the sculpt in there, you see an L for left. The other one, the mace hand, again, small peg, be careful. There is going to be an R in here representing the right arm, as you can see there. Now, the other tricky thing is you have to place these on in a certain way to be able to get the wrist to go all the way to the edge so you can port in those attachments. So you may have to kind of play around with it, turn it, twist it, pull it off, put it back on to be able to get it into the right spot. It was a little bit tricky, and I had to really learn that before going. Like right here, you see I can't get it all the way through. You want to make sure to really get it in the right spot and then force it all the way on there, and it's going to sit in there nice and tight. So I really like the way that looks, but the other problem with that is green plastic and then skin tone paint does not look good. The green is showing through the skin tone really bad, and I hate when Hasbro does this. Like, I hate it. They did it on that Punisher figure on the shoulders, and I really hated it there because it looked really bad next to the other skin tone. The good thing here is it's not like right next to his neck or face where you're going to see the difference in color. But when I see the green coming through, it looks bad. But if you have these sand arm attachments on, it's going to cover it up and not be a big deal. So there is all of Sandman. He looks really good. So now let's see his articulation. Okay, so we're going to look at Sandman's articulation. So the head, he can look all the way down, which is great, and he can look all the way up, which is fantastic. We don't really get a whole lot of pivot. You get some, actually a fair amount, much more than I would have thought. You get a full rotation if you would like to do so. There, you get the shoulder to go out that high, straight out, and you get a full rotation in there. You have an upper bicep swivel. Here, you get a double jointed elbow, so you can still bend the elbow with those sand attachments on there without the attachment attachments, you can see it's still a double joint like so. And I lied, you do get the skin tone of the hand versus the forearm, and they don't match, and that bothers me. Anyway, wrist swivels, and you do hinge, but again, these sand attachment hands do not have hinges, so they're not going to do any kind of movement other than you get some swivel if that's what you want to do, but no hinge whatsoever. Ab crunch, he's only going to crunch forward that much. We know that this torso is pretty limited. Back doesn't really go back a whole lot. Waist swivel is in there, unlike my Punisher that it was all stuck and I had to crack it. This one moves nice and easy. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far. The leg doesn't really go back, maybe a tiny bit. You get an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee like so. The ankles are on ankle ball, so you actually have, oh, there's no swivel. There's not, it is not a separate piece. That's part of the leg. So there is not a swivel there, but you get nice ankle pivot. Foot hinges down only slightly. The back of the foot is going to hit the back of the jeans. Going up, the top of the boot is going to hit the bottom cuff of the jeans, so not a lot of hinge, but the ankle pivot works out kind of well. So pretty limited articulation, but I think he does look really good. So now let's see some size comparisons. Okay, so here are the side-by-side comparisons. So here with this Sandman, I always felt he was too large. Yes, he can kind of power up and change his size based on the amount of sand and all this and that. But I wanted one that was going to be kind of up against Spider-Man at the same level. Now, Sandman is still much taller than Spider-Man, but I like the way the two kind of match up basically in size together. So when doing, you know, either displaying or doing photography, I think having them at a similar size can work out. But, you know, don't get me wrong, this is still a very good Build-A-Figure. I love the arms. The sculpt of it is really nice. Seeing the two side by side, I do wish it was more this color, but this does look pretty good. The head sculpt is pretty awesome. So I don't want to take away from this figure. I do hate the body that they used. I think luckily at this point they retired it. They used it several times, right? Dormammu, Terrax, Sandman, the other Sandman, the other Dormammu. So they used it a number of times. The legs are like not the same length. It's just kind of a pain in the ass. And I think at one time my torso had kind of broken apart because of the weight of those arms. So it's just kind of tough. That's why I really like this new one. Yes, it looks a little soft in the facial expressions and things like that, but I do think it looks really good. This head sculpt is pretty nice. But I love the way these two really match up. But, you know, still a good one. But, you know, I'm leaning more towards this one now. Okay, that is my review of the Sandman figure. I like it. I love the retro Spider-Man figures. I love all the ones that Hasbro releases, whether it's the Avengers figures or the Spider-Man figures or even the X-Men, which we haven't gotten in a while now. I love them. I continue to get them. I always get two, one to display, one to hang on the wall. Fantastic Four figures are starting to get out there slowly but surely. Dorkside had The Thing. Entertainment Earth had Psycho Man. I have Hercules coming on the way from Entertainment Earth. And again, I just got Sandman, so all the retro figures at this point are coming along. I'm not sure when I'll have the full Fantastic Four wave. I have it pre-ordered through Entertainment Earth and Dorkside. We'll see who ends up winning. But I like the Sandman figure. I love the fact that you could do the whole hand through the head thing. Makes it really fun. I don't know about you, but I think it's cool. This head sculpt is really good, but I think I am going to display it with this version. And you can do fun things like this. You know, not that I'm the greatest at posing figures and doing all sorts of things, but every now and then I like to dip my hand into something and try it. And I think this actually looks pretty good. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this pose, what you think of the figure. Keep in mind these sand attachments do get a little bit heavy and kind of bring down the weight of the arms and everything, so be careful in leaving the arms, the heavy weight of it, like outwards, because it's really going to take away and kind of, you know, reduce the effectiveness of those hinges on the elbows and on the shoulders and everything. They're going to droop down, so be careful with that. But I think it's a solid release. Again, you guys let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.